Hello and welcome to A Game of Two Halves, a show brought to you by sports journalism students here at the University of South Wales. I am your host Harry Tovey, and today we will be bringing you the latest sports stories across Wales. But first, here's the headlines. Wales have drawn England in their Rugby World Cup group. The rebuilding side will certainly have their sights set on 2027 when they will be facing rivals England as well as Tonga and Zimbabwe. A huge milestone has been reached for women and girls football here in Wales. The FAW have announced that more than 20,000 women and girls are now registered to play football across the country. The female game has seen a 58% increase in participation since the initiative launched in 2021. Ebenezer Bears has been banned for 12 weeks for an eye gouge on Alex Mann. The experienced lock is South Africa's most capped player in history, but his 141st cap ended in red after he was found intentionally making contact with Mann's eyes in the two teams' final Quilter Nation Series fixture last weekend. Our first story takes us to the heart of Cardiff, where our reporter Reef looks at Wales's recently drawn group for the 2027 Rugby World Cup.
Hello from the Principality Stadium. We now know the Rugby World Cup 2027 pool draw, and Wales have landed one of the headline groups. They will play England in Pool F when the tournament kicks off in Australia. Whenever Wales meet England, it brings up heightened emotions and pressure. A game between two rivals often kickstarts the rest of a tournament, and fans from everywhere will certainly have this one circled. But that's not all for Pool F. Wales are also set to face Tonga. Having participated in every World Cup since 1995, they've surprised top teams before, and they will arrive with real belief. Wales will have to be wary because Tonga can turn a game round in a moment. The fourth team in the pool is Zimbabwe. They are a developing side, and for Wales, this will be a different kind of challenge. Less familiar, less predictable, but full of energy. Zimbabwe will want to make their mark on the world stage. This World Cup also comes with a new format, 6 pools of 4 teams. Only 2 teams are guaranteed to go through, but the 4 best third place teams will advance as well. So every point and every try will matter. For Wales, Pool F is tough but exciting. A huge rivalry match with England, a physical test with Tonga, and an unpredictable meeting with Zimbabwe. It's a turbulent time for Welsh rugby currently, a rebuild in full swing. But nevertheless, the countdown to Australia in 2027 starts now.
And now we move on to hockey, where this week Wales Under-21's women's side are in Santiago, Chile. The team is competing in the FIH Junior Hockey World Cup. The side has been drawn in Pool B and have faced Belgium and Zimbabwe so far, but the group's first battle was won before they even touched down in South America. Ruth Parker has the rest.
I am outside Sophia Gardens visiting Hockey Wales just days before they go to Chile to compete in the FIH Junior World Cup.
Wales confirmed their place in the World Cup after a victory in the Euro Hockey Under-21 Championships in July 2024. However, financial uncertainty has meant that the squad hasn't known if they would be able to compete on the world stage.
It's been chaos, if I'm telling the truth, leading up to this point, because obviously life is large and there's loads of other things to do. But now that we can just think about going out to Chile, I'm really, really excited. We were told from the off about 3 months ago at the beginning of the training block that we would have very little help, but we would try always to get funding. Hockey Wales has never had much support. I've been playing for 5 years and we've never really been given a lump sum. We've always paid for our own kits and we've always paid for travel. So I didn't expect any help. But through crowdfunding, we've actually raised a significant amount of money as a collective group, but nothing from the government.
The crowdfunding campaign opened on the 23rd of October and raised just over £30,000. An impressive sum in such a short space of time. The crowdfunder project pledged to pay for the team's travel, accommodation and essential kit.
Well, my initial reaction was, wow, I can't believe we've done it. And then straight away my head starts going towards how are we going to manage to get the girls out there, the team, the money, the kit, and all the kind of practical side of things that we have to deal with as a head coach. Oh, absolutely. I think obviously we don't get a lot of contact time, which is always a massive issue. You know, I think we've managed to get about 6 or 7 training days together, which again is an issue. You know, you could treble that and it'd still be difficult.
The fact that your energy goes into raising money instead of raising your energy levels and committing your time to playing, that's in some ways disappointing, but it's also a very real reality. So I'm proud of the team that we've done it, but it has taken time away from pitch time.
They are a wonderful group in terms of, I would say, intellectual, I would say happy, I would say very, very kind of versatile, and they work really hard. But now, yeah, I'm kind of comfortable with going, and the reality now of all the little things now we have to put in place to make sure that we can be relatively successful. I have some expectations where I'd like to get to. Obviously, everyone will be romantic and say, yeah, we want to win the World Cup, but it's going to be difficult. There's some really well-drilled teams that are a lot more funded than we are, but I would like us to think, you know what, a top 8 finish would be a really good thing for us as a nation.
And now it's time for the second year feature. Today's feature is with Emmy Lonsdale, a media production undergraduate here at the University of South Wales. Emmy opens up about her north-east roots and how moving to Wales has shaped her life and career aspirations.
Hi, I'm Amelia Lonsdale, also known as Emmy. I'd always knew that I'd wanted to go to university, in the sense that I'm the first person in my family, both mum's side and dad's side, to go to university. When I lived in Middlesbrough, I lived working class, so I'd lived on a council estate, my whole family, so I wanted to prove to people that, look, it's okay to come from a council estate, you can go to university, you can do all this, you know, you can become great, because I think there's sometimes this stigma that, you know, if you come from a posh school and all that, then you're also automatically going to be successful, rather than working class, in the sense of you're just going to get a 9 to 5 job and a waitress, and that's it, where I didn't want that for myself. When I moved to Wales, I saw how like creative everything was. Like in my comp, there was like posters all over the wall of like art, there was like art clubs and stuff like that. So when I saw that happen, I was like, oh, maybe I should try stuff like that, because I did draw in my spare time. We did a tech dem first couple of weeks in sound, and I just absolutely loved it, like straight away. Like I wanted to learn everything about it, all the mixes. I booked all the mixes out, learned all the stuff I could learn physically, and then that just became my niche, like speciality. Like when I lived in Middlesbrough, I got bullied a lot, so that really diminished my confidence. Like I had really bad anxiety. I think I was getting close to like depression at one point, I think the doctor said. But when I came to Cardiff, like, and came to Wales, my whole confidence just blew, and I think that was because I could express myself with art, and I knew I could be around with like-minded people who were more creative compared to Middlesbrough in that sense.
Next, we head to the National Velodrome in Newport as reporter Reef Parker speaks to Bikeo Cymru Development Manager Fionn James about a new sporting initiative launched by Sport Wales this week.
Hello Fionn, thank you for joining me today. First of all, could you outline what the Foundations Framework Wales truly is?
So the Foundations Framework Wales is a good practice guide for sport and physical activity for children aged 3 to 11 years old.
How do you see this working in Wales, and why do you think it's come about?
So it's come about because a child's experience of sport and physical activity when they're aged 3 to 11 is really important and impacts their relationship with sport for the rest of their lives. So it's really important that we get that activity right, and that it's safe and it's fun and it's developmental for a child.
You mentioned before that this has been in development for some time now. Could you tell me anything about that process and what's actually happened to this point?
Yeah, so it's been a really, really big project that the whole of the sports sector has been involved in. So that's Sport Wales, national governing bodies, local authorities, a variety of coaches and young people have been consulted. And then they've co-developed and brought all of that information together to form this framework.
For your role as development manager, how do you see this changing your role, and where do you think it needs to be implemented?
So we're looking to embed the framework throughout the work that we do at Bikeo Cymru, but also throughout our clubs and the community. So it helps people to ensure that they're delivering the right sort of activity and in the right sort of way.
There's been a lot of investment in Welsh sport recently. You'd know that yourselves as you've gone through a rebrand within the last 2 years. Why do you think this effort is being made and why now?
Yeah, so unfortunately, there's some scary stats out there with child obesity rates and inactivity rates being really high. Also, children reporting like low confidence and low enjoyment in sport. So it's essential that as a nation, we act now to ensure that we have like a healthy and prospering future in Wales.
And finally, could you tell me, what do you think would be a success for this initiative?
So a success would be that the framework is embedded in every action we take and decision we make. And through that, we hope to come up with some really good case studies of clubs that have used this, and then we can share that wider and hopefully see more clubs use it as well.
Before our next story, let's take a look at what's coming up on the show at 3:30. I am now joined in the studio by Jake Hastings, who is here to talk to us about Wales's performance in this year's Quilter Nation series. So Jake, talk to me about Wales's autumn internationals. Of course, winning that incredible game against Japan, Jared Evans' last kick, 1 in 12 wins though at the Principality. It hasn't been the best of years, has it, for Welsh rugby?
No, it's disappointing. You know, you want the Principality to be the fortress where you win all your games, and to only win 1 out of 12 in the last 2 years, I think it's a sign of really where Welsh rugby is going and has been for a while. They need to find a solution quickly, because going into the World Cup in 2027, it's not looking very promising.
Talk to me about the new partnership that we obviously saw in the autumn internationals, the inexperience of Dan Edwards, but also the experience of Thomas Williams. That's a good partnership moving forward for Wales, isn't it? Yeah,
definitely. You know, Steve Tandy's already found some links there going with Dan Edwards being the young one and connecting with him as well. It's really good to see that he's already getting the team to gel. I know they didn't win many of the games, obviously only won 1 game, but even then I think for Wales it's good to see that Steve Tandy is making a difference, and that's all that matters for Wales, I think.
Well, thanks for that, Jake. For our last story of the day, we go into the city centre and speak to Liam Jones, founder of Overseas Apparel. The independent sustainable clothing brand provides a twist. A weekly run club hosted outside the store, all in aid of positive mental health by combining socialising with exercise.
I'm Liam, the owner, and this is Overseas Apparel. And we've always been about like trying to build community. That's kind of our basic ethos, I guess. And then community came into it even more then when we launched our events in like 2018, 2019, doing like DJ nights and bands and stuff in the shop. Then launched the run club then. To go alongside that in 2020. Our shop was closed obviously through COVID, so I had a bit more time on my hands than normal. Got into running, loved it, and thought, well, maybe I want to join a run club, but a lot of them are quite intense, and like you have to be like a real fast runner or be in the running community, and I wasn't. So I thought, well, if I make my own one, I know my mates will come, so it's just running with my mates, and then if other people show up, amazing. If they don't, no dramas, like I'm just running with my mates. But we wanted it to make sure it was like accessible for everyone. So that's why our ethos and kind of mindset has always been, we run at the pace of the slowest person, so then they feel like the fastest. And then we always finish at different pubs. So like we don't deep it too much. We just want people to, if they want to come for a run and not overthink they're running too much, where hopefully that kind of stopgap between not running at all and being an elite runner, I guess. Our run club especially is very kind of personally driven and mental health driven without us like forcing it, because where people just meet up with other people, and the whole point of us running is to run at the pace where you can chit chat, have a catch up and enjoy the company of the people with you. It's a real nice balance of getting to know people and not forcing it, and people feeling like they've got a little safe hub they can come to if they want to, you know.
Make sure to tune in at 3:30 p.m. for our final show of the day. I've been your host, Harry Tevy. Thank you and goodbye.